Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh. I know you guys been waiting for this special treat. I'm so excited to have the boss lady today, all the way from Atlanta to us virtually. The boss chick herself, Miss RazorChic, also known as Jasmine Collins, who has been named as the lady with the healing hands. You guys see her amazing work all over social media and the magazines and so forth. And she's helping people with moderate to severe hair loss worldwide. I mean, just a tremendous person doing some amazing things. And we can't wait to hear as far as what she has to come. So please welcome her. How are you today?
I am blessed. Can't complain. Can't complain. How about
I'm doing well. So can we go back to a little bit about yourself and your story and lead us up to where you are now?
you? Okay. So like she said, my name is Jasmine Collins, but I branded myself by the name of Razor Chick many years ago. And I saw some of your questions that you had sent over. So I don't know if you want me to just tell my story and I'm gonna hit on some of the questions, or you
That's
want
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
okay. So my name is, like I said, Jasmine Collins, branded by the name of Razor Chick. I've been in the industry now, right, at like 30 years. Oh my God, I'm about to tell my age in a minute. So, yes, been in the game for at least 30 years. And I rebranded myself, I'm going to say about 15 years ago with the name of a Razor Chick. Um, so how I got the name of Razor Chick, actually I gave myself the name. God gave me that name actually, because I used to cut a lot of weaves and all that kind of stuff back in the day with razors. I'm just type of person, like, just say if I do a weave on someone, I don't want that you can be able to tell that somebody has a head full of weave coming across the street. Like, I
Right.
want you to be able to see right there in their face and try to figure out, like, is that her hair? It's like, what is that? That's some extensions. Like, what is it? It's so pretty. So by cutting hair with razors, it definitely looks more realistic and more natural, along with splitting tracks and, just giving that more realistic look. So I branded myself by the name of Razor Chick, like I said, about 15 years ago. Um, I've been on social media. Oh my God, I've been on social media now, like right at, like, I would say 20 years. I've been on social media. Back in the day when it was just kind of only Facebook. I never got on, what was that platform that was before Facebook?
Is it my not my
My
space?
MySpace.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I never did MySpace. I saw people doing MySpace. I never did MySpace. I came out when Facebook hit. And so I remember, back then when everybody was taking pictures of their friends and family and gatherings and stuff, I was hustling way back then, posting pictures of my work on Facebook. So I
Mm.
would post it on my personal page. At that time, I did not have a business page or nothing. I would just post my work on my personal page. And I just kept building and building and building. And a really close friend of mine, she kept trying to encourage me to get on Instagram. And, you know, social media takes up so much of your time when we're getting onto social media, uploading your content and looking at other people's content, and you will look around, the day have been and got away from you. So when I thought about when she was trying to push me to get on Instagram, I was like, girl, I'm already on Facebook. I don't want to do that. I was like, I ain't got time for no other social media. So she finally convinced me one day. She told me Instagram was a lot different than Facebook, and it was just basically all about pictures, and she was right. And so I finally got on Instagram, and that's when things started taking off for me. When I got on Instagram many years ago, and uh, me personally, I specialize in nice haircuts. That's what I do. I've branded myself with doing. You want a nice haircut, whether it's a lengthy, long haircut with layers, short, bobs, whatever you do, I'm just good at cutting. And like I said, I branded myself by the name of Razor Chick many years ago. So way back then, um, just paying attention to my audience and just seeing what my audience was liking and what they wanted to see. So it even happens right now today. Like, I can post a real cute fly haircut or something that I've done with a nice color or whatever. And with over 1 million followers that I have, maybe about 2 or 3 thousand people would like it. Of course, they have changed a whole lot when it comes down to the algorithm and the engagements with social media. That has changed. But still, I can post the ending picture of something that I did, and it will get likes and comments. But let me put that before picture with that after picture, and
Mm.
it goes through the roof. And so when I started doing that, literally I'm not knowing what I'm doing. I'm just showing befores and afters. Because I see people that was liking to see the whole transformation, the makeovers. So people was coming, and I wasn't dealing with hair loss at the time. I was just showing befores and afters. So people was coming, and people started having like little small cases of hair loss and alopecia, or whatever, like the size of like a nickel, a quarter, like on the sides, the temples, or something like that. And me not knowing what I'm doing, I'm just showing makeovers before and afters. So people will see that people had challenging issues coming to sit in my chair. And so clients started coming, and the issues started getting bigger and bigger. Like, oh my God, to the point like now people sit in my chair with no crowns at all. And I'd be like, oh my God, like, how did my career get here? This is not what I do. This is not what I want to be known for. But at the time when I had a publicist, they was just saying that, yes, Jasmine, you are really good with, nice haircuts and colors, but so are a lot of other stylists. But when it comes down to doing makeovers with people who have severe hair loss, you're kind of like on an island almost by yourself. So when they said that, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead and take it and run with it. And so ever since I've been showing, not once again, not knowing what I'm doing, I'm just showing makeovers. Now I'm like completely like buried in hair loss clients. Like when I tell you, it's kind of like sad and depressing for me, because I really miss doing healthy hair, to really show my creativity and all the different funky haircuts and things that I can do. But I really enjoy helping someone whose confidence and self-esteem is really low and tore down from, all of the things that people, the average women today, do to their hair. And they don't realize what they're doing to their hair until one day, they see themselves in the mirror, and, they kind of like feel like it's too far. It's kind of too far to turn around until they come across my page and see what it is that I do. And so I just really just like being able to, I actually love being able to help someone whose confidence and their self-esteem is really low, when it comes down to their hair. Because hair, what people don't realize is that it's a lot of things that's tied to hair. Yeah. And, your hair look good, feel good. That's your hair look a mess, oh my God, self-esteem, confidence is just, it's really low. And so, like I said, I just really, really enjoy being able to help someone who have hair loss. So yes, been in the industry, like I said, 30 years. Now I'm kind of known as the alopecia queen. Like, I don't even know how I got here, but I'm here. So yeah, that's a little bit of my story, my journey. And I don't want to dive too much in, because I know there's some questions in here that you specifically want to ask me. So yes.
So I'm sure, as we see people, we have something in common. So my mother's been in the hair industry for almost 45 years. Haven't had a job since her 20. She's about to be 70. Wow. So she's still in the industry.
She's still in the industry now?
Yes. Wow. Going to all the hair shows, and so forth. But she talked about, I know you probably experienced, can you talk about the other side, like the therapeutic side? And I know for her, like, she's had people in her chair that want to commit suicide. And I think people don't get to see that. So can you talk about that side, how you're more than just a hairstyle, like you're raising confidence, but people come to you with real life problems. And I mean, in this instance, you're really saving people's lives, deeper than the hair.
Oh, that's not, like I just said before, it's much deeper than hair. People just think that, oh, it's just hair. No, it's not just hair. Like I said, it's so much that's tied to hair. And I mean, just some of the stories that I have heard when these women come sit in my chair, it's just like, it's so overwhelming. Like when I tell you, when I get off work, when I come home, I feel so heavy. I be so heavy, like carrying all of the trauma that some of these women have been through. And when they sit in my chair and tell me their stories, it's just like, it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's overwhelming. And because it's so much and it's overwhelming, I had to definitely like cut my books in half and slow down, because it was just like taking a toll of me, dealing with so many people and so many different spirits and energy that sits in my chair. So, like I said, I just definitely had to slow down and cut my clientele in half to be able to cater to, pretty much whatever they're going through when they sit in my chair, because it is, I mean, I've heard stories from, when women, I mean, grown women sit in my chair in their 40s and 50s, telling me that they haven't worn their hair since they was in like middle school and high school. Like, I mean, it's just the trauma and things that they have went through, you know, with boyfriends and husbands, or childhood abuse. Like, I mean, I've heard so much. I don't think there's not a story I have not heard when clients sit in my chair and tell me their issues. And so when they come to me, they want to be free of everything that they're going through and that they're feeling. And so, the average person that comes to me, I'm gonna say the average number, it's about a decade since a person has worn their real hair. The longest I've ever heard was 45 years. I had a lady that sat in my chair when I was in New York, and she hadn't worn her real hair in 45 years. When every time I post, I always put it in my caption like, "This beauty have not worn her hair in 15 years or 20 years," and it blows my mind just to hear them say that. And like, so when I be putting in my captions, it's just mind blowing, and I just want people to really feel what I'm saying and feel, what I'm actually dealing with when these women do sit in my chair. But it's deep. It's much deeper than hair, much deeper.
Okay. Now I know most people's goals, especially when they're transitioning from can you talk a little bit about that as far as transitioning from doing hair part-time to full-time? I know a lot of people's goal is to make $1,000 a day. So what was your plan for executing that and more, like for people who want to get off their jobs and do hair like full-time?
To be honest, it's actually the other way around. I know a lot of staff that was in the game for many years have left the industry or work part-time in the industry, and they going to get, jobs, they into real estate, they in the hospital industry. It's a lot of people that have, it's what you just said is the actually opposite, because the industry has changed so much and it's so watered down. So, versus on someone leaving their job to do hair, no, it's the other way around. People leaving the industry to go get, other jobs, because so many people are not really wearing their hair anymore. When you look at TV, you look at music videos, and you look at reality shows, everybody looks the same. Everybody have a lace on. People hadn't worn their hair forever. And so, it's just so easy to cover something up. And these women don't realize what they're doing when they cover their hair up, and their hair can't breathe for like long periods of time. See, I come from a time, back in the day, like I said, I've been in the industry over 30 years. So I come from an industry in a time where salons were standing room only. Like when you and we was all working together. Like a lot of stylists was working in the same salon up under the same roof. Now you go to like the salon atmosphere is dying out now. It's all thing you really see is people working in suites or people working from home. The industry of having a full-fledged salon is like it's almost like extinct at this point. So it's the opposite, where people are kind of going from behind the chair to get jobs. And I would say, as far as to what you just asked me about stylists trying to meet a particular goal, like did you say in a week of $1,000 or
$1,000 a day? Yeah,
$1,000 a day. So, in my opinion on how stylists can to get to that point, it's all about. In my opinion, it's all about seasons and knowing when is your time and when is your season to be able to do that. And when I say that, is meaning that so many stylists overlook so many different important, crucial things when it comes down to servicing a client. So making sure that you do a thorough consultation, making sure that, trying to, knowing how to listen to the hair. Because I tell clients and I tell stylists this all the time, the hair speaks to you. And hair tells you when it needs protein. It tells you when it needs moisture. It tells you when it needs a trim. It'll tell you when it needs all these different things. But you just have to learn how to slow down and don't chase the dollar. Don't chase the dollar. Slow down. Pay attention to detail. and hit all of the key points that a client is concerned with, trying to, taking into consideration what they do for a living, what condition the hair is in. Like, so taking all those different things into consideration and focusing more so on quality versus quantity, you will be able to one day be able to get that type of money from one client because you have paid close attention to detail. And I noticed that a lot of stylists, they just, just trying to, get money from this person, get money from the, just trying to, cram people in to make a decent day. I can speak on it because they used to be me back in the day. So, but when like I said, when you learn how to slow down and pay attention to detail, you'll be able to charge that type of money for a head and be able to get it with no complaints at all, and turn around and get tips because people appreciate that you actually listen to them and you listen to the hair and you hit all of the key factors that brought them into the salon to get serviced by you. So paying attention to detail will definitely start to separate you and set you apart from so many different stylists, because so many people do hair. So, what makes you different from the next stylist? And for me, like I said, paying attention to detail and not being all over the place trying to do all these different services, stick to what you're good at, stick to what your passion is. And, one day you'll be able to charge those type of prices where you'll be able to get $1,000 ahead.
Now talk about the investing. I'm sure you went through the phase where you've seen people, borrow your stuff. They don't want to return your stuff back. And because I know a lot of young stylists, they buy the designer clothes, but yet they don't invest into their business, their products, their marketing, and things and tools like that.
When it comes down to that, that's a long story because that's one of the reasons why I kind of hate that the actual atmosphere of working a full-fledged salon where you worked around other creative stylists and you actually, you waited your turn and you learned the ropes, the ropes of the game or whatever. And, it's a lot of people that's operating out of season. And when I say operating out of season, like, you definitely have to know how do a person know that when is their time in their seasons when you are booked up, like literally, like it takes weeks to get an appointment with you. And, that comes from, like I said, definitely paying attention to detail, investing in continuing education classes. I know so many people that don't go to trade shows, don't take classes. I always tell stylists to invest in their career, invest in taking classes, because going to classes, you learn what to do and you learn what not to do. So, definitely taking time to invest in your career for when it comes down to continuing education classes, because so much stuff had changed. Back in the day, it was you couldn't do like a relaxer and color in the same day. But because of how so many different things has changed and so many new products are on the market, you can do those types of things in one day. But it takes you investing in yourself into your career, so you'll be able to learn how to be able to do all those things in one day. So it's definitely important that you do, if you are working in a salon suite, to take the time out to take continuing education classes and go to trade shows and stuff like that, because it's very important because things evolve daily.
Okay. So how long did it take? I know everybody wants to know, how long did it take to grow your followers from, starting off at, a couple hundred and then now, over 1 million? How long did that take? And then talk about your book, why people need to get that as far as how to grow your Instagram followers.
That was not overnight. Not at all. Like I said, so as far as IG, I've been on Instagram for like 13 years. 13 years I've been on IG, and I just hit 1 million followers last year. So that just goes to show you with the numbers. Like, I just hit it last year. So, that's just something you can't rush, and just paying attention to your audience and seeing what they like, and, seeing why people come to your page, seeing what you're getting the most engagements out of is really important. And as far as like my book, it tells you about like the times of day to post, when it talks about hashtags, it talks about, so many different things when it comes down to branding and marketing yourself. It ain't just one or two things. It's like a long list of things, and it definitely takes time to get there. And also it takes, investing in your career as well, with spending money on ads and advertisement, spending money with other influencers to bring people to your page. So, I mean, it's a mixture of, several things is how I built my page up to where it is. But like I said, I just hit it last year. So now I have, it's about 1.7 million followers that I have from, I have 2 Instagram pages, and I have a Facebook page, and I have 2 Facebook pages, a personal and a business, and I have a TikTok, and I got, of course, YouTube. So all together, it's about 1.7 million people following me across all the different platforms. But it's not an overnight type thing, and you have to do several things to get to that point. And especially now, even I'm learning now, they have changed so much within the last 6 months to a year. They have changed so much when it comes down to the engagements and the algorithm, and things that you have to do to get noticed. So I mean, it's a lot that has changed. So definitely paying attention to what the changes that's going on around you, and investing in your career to be able to get there. And it's not an overnight thing. It's just not going to happen. You just have to learn how to be patient. And it's not about, once again, like, it's not about trying to hit 1 million followers. It's just about, making sure that every follower that you get do enjoy whatever content that you're posting. So, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's been the most difficult part of the journey?
The most difficult part for me, I would say the most difficult part for me was getting in front of the camera. I know people look at my page now, I know they won't be able to see it. I'll be able to tell it now. But for me, it took a lot for me to get in front of the camera. For many years, I used to post content all the time, and there was never a face to who this RazorChic person was. And once I hired a publicist, they was telling me that, I need to start getting in front of the camera a little bit more. And, when I look at social media now, it's just crazy how people come to your page and say all types of stuff, like as if you're not human. Influencers, celebrities, people, these are real people. So it's just crazy how, people come on your page and say all type of negative, derogatory stuff to you and don't even know you. So me seeing how they rip other celebrities and influencers apart, like, I never really wanted to get in front of the camera, because I know me, like, what Periscope. I remember when Periscope hit. What I didn't like about Periscope was it was like instant responses. Like, it was about going live and people can interact with you in real time. And what I didn't like about that was, so while you're on live, people can say all these different things to you. And, if you're sitting there, if you're reading the comments, it can change your energy like no other. So just, not letting those things get to you takes a lot of getting used to. I remember Oprah saying that if you can't handle being talked about, you're not ready for success. And I keep that in the back of my head. So, keeping that in the back of my head, and just learn how to kind of tune out, the naysayers, and realize that the good outweighs the bad. It's definitely more positive and more love than, bots and negativity, negative people saying negative things to me. So I would say it took a lot for me to be able to get in front of the camera and be able to, take all the criticism and all the different things that people say about you and, about your brand. So it took a lot for me to do that. So I can say that's one of my biggest hurdles I had to learn how to get over, getting out of my way and get it in front of the camera.
Now, can you tell people I want to salute you too for your tour. It's been selling out, and that's not an easy thing to do. As you know, we've seen these stories of people having, like you said, these millions of followers, but yet they can't even sell a record or they can't sell products. So I definitely have to take my hat off to you for selling out and everybody enjoying your tour. So can you tell people the benefit and then also the purpose of attending the hair loss tour?
So there's two parts to that. And so when I say it's two parts to that, so when I first started touring the country, I was only doing classes. So I was only traveling across the world, and I was only teaching classes to stylists in all these different cities. I mean, there used to be a time when I can go to a city and I will have no less than 50 or 60 people in a class. Now I'm lucky if I get a strong 10 because of how everything has changed with the algorithm and them controlling what people see. Me paying attention to social media. It's a free platform, and they realize how many people that they have made successful and made successful behind social media. And so basically now you have to pay to play. And I mean, I get it. Now you have to start spending money. I mean, there's a lot of influencers out here that's complaining about, the algorithm and the engagements. So a lot has changed. So over the years, I only used to start doing, like I said, just teaching stylists across the world. When things started slowing down and changing because of what they was controlling, who see what, when it comes down to stylists, it's like, of course, it's a handful of stylists, but when it comes down to consumers, of course, the consumers outweigh the stylists. So, once again, my publicist mentioned it because they will, we would get a lot of requests for people to do, for me to do their hair when I was on the road. So I started doing a few heads on the road when I was doing my classes. So I would teach a class on Monday, and then I will service clients on a Tuesday and maybe even Wednesday, depending on the overload. So over the years, it has changed. Now it kind of almost turned to the point where I'm doing more hair than teaching classes now. So so a lot has changed over the years when it comes down to selling out of each city that I was going to as far as stylists. One of the things that has been really good for me because of the change is doing virtual classes. Virtual classes has been I can honestly say it has been a success when it comes down to doing virtual classes, because a person can take your class no matter what part of the world that they're in. So I thought about just only doing virtual classes and still travel, because I love traveling, and it gives me an opportunity to see different cities and meet new people and help so many different women across the world. So so a lot has changed when it comes down to selling out in all of these different cities that I go. So, but it's always a success when it comes down to a balance of clients and a balance of students. But I will say, as far as the tour goes, the online classes has been more of a hit here lately, I would say.
Okay. Last two questions. So what do you do when you miss your goals or you fall short? Do you get hard on yourself, or what's your action after that?
Me personally, I always like to set short-term goals. So, because you're more likely to hit a short-term goal versus on a long term goal. So I realize when you set short-term goals, more 9 out of 10, you're going to hit those more so than, going beyond, setting a huge goal for yourself and not knowing realistically if you're able to hit them or not. So, setting short-term goals is what I recommend that people do, so it won't affect you if you don't hit that, the astronomical goal that you're trying to achieve. So, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us we want to know what's next, upcoming events, services, products, but then also what can people expect from you next year?
So next year, I actually just finished as of this morning, actually, putting together the tour for next year. So of course I'm going back on the road next year. I have several cities that I'm actually going to. And we also started. We also launched our product called Honey. So you guys will definitely be seeing a lot of advertisement for Honey as of next year, and you can actually benefit what are the great things when it comes down to the benefits of honey. Honey is is a huge moisture restore when it comes down to hair, because the average person that comes and sits in my chair, their hair be so dehydrated and dry, and it's just be all over the place. So I've been working with a chemist for the last few years trying to come up with a product that's geared towards the women that sits in my chair. And so so definitely look out for my tour that's going across the country as of next year, and pay attention to the advertisement as I promote the brand Honey this year coming. So I'm super excited about that, and to let you guys get a chance to experience that. And it's a great product.
I love the name too.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So can you tell the world where they can find and connect with you at, and of course your website?
So you guys can find me on Instagram under the official RazorChic on IG. That's my personal page, the official RazorChic. On IG as well, you can find me up under RazorChic of Atlanta Salon. On TikTok, you can find me under the official RazorChic as well. And on Facebook, you can find me under RazorChic of Atlanta Salon on Facebook. And of course, RazorChic.com.
Right.
Of course. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Truly appreciate it. I'm always say it's the one thing you never get back. So thank you again on this lovely Friday evening.
Yes.
Spending with us, dropping these jewels.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. It seems like as soon as I get warmed up, it'd be over. But I enjoy the time that I have here with you.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely stay in touch so we can let people know when the product Honey comes out as well.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.